Hi guys, I said in one of my last couple of videos that I would do the card set holder, and I'm finally doing the card set holder that I promised months and months ago, and I just never did it, honestly. I got carried away making cards, and you know, then life happens. So I took a 12 by 12 sheet of craft cardstock. Now this is a super thick cardstock. This is like at least 110 pound. It's made by Basil, and I got it at Tuesday morning. I got it was the package of 25 of them. I use this sparingly because it's so thick. It's almost chipboard, it's that thick, but I love it, and this is what I like to use it for. I took a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and I cut 11 1/4 by 6 1/2. I scored it at 5 1/4 and 6, and that got me this guy, because we're making this card set holder. Then from my cutoff piece that was so long, I cut it at 7 inches by 4 1/2 inches. That's 7 inches wide by 4 1/2 inches tall. This is my cutaway piece from that. Vertically, I scored it at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inch. Then I just flipped it around and I scored it again at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inch, because then I knew each side would be exactly the same. I knew I had enough space this horizontally or across for cards to fit in there, and I knew that I had it deep enough at the 1/2 inch and the 1 1/4 inch. The 1/2 inch is what's going to glue to this and to this piece, and then the 3/4 inches is the depth of your pocket. Okay, so then I horizontally scored it at 3 and at 3 3/4, which is here and here. I'm kind of peeved about this, and I'm thinking I'm going to get a piece of cardstock and just do it again and show you. I'm putting the long side in, just laying it in a mini scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. Okay, so I scored that at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inch. Now I'm flipping it around like I said a while ago, so that I make sure that both sides are even. And I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inch again. Okay, I'm going to turn this on the short side, which would now be my horizontal side, and I'm going to score it at 3 . I don't use this scoreboard very much, really, if I'm honest. Missed it completely. And then 3 3/4. And then, let me get some scissors. I need to cut away this square and this square, because they're just not needed. I've got too much glare. Maybe I need to turn one of these lights off. I don't know, if I do that, then it seems like it's too dark when I go to edit, and I didn't cut enough of that off. Now I just need to cut on this score line all the way up to this score line, and then on this short one I need to cut up to this score line. Both cuts are going to the same place. And then we'll make a little wedge to take some of the bulk out. Like, now that I've cut this, I'm going to take some of the bulk out by just cutting a little sliver out of it, really. So those are going to go like that. And then these pieces are going to come in like this. And then the bottom will come up. And now, hopefully you'll be able to see down in there. These pieces will glue to there. And then I'll probably add a dot of glue to that. Let me just grab a couple of glue dots and we'll make it quick and easy. I'll have to go back and add more glue to it to make sure that it stays together. But for the sake of this video, I'll get all this out of the way. I'll take that glue dot and that one. And got my fingers stuck to it. See, that'll go like that. And then this one will go like this. And then I'll use wet glue and put it here and glue it here, right? And then once that's glued together, I need to take a little bit of bulk off of that. And this piece here will get glued after these pieces get glued here, right? Then that'll be like that. And then you'll glue this flap here to this back piece, and then all of this, it'll glue inside your, because once all of this is glued together, it won't be floppy. Then I'll add wet glue here and then up the sides here and glue it directly to the cover piece. And that makes it more sturdy, in my opinion. When I made this piece a little longer, just simply because this is thicker cardstock, and I want to be absolutely certain that it's not going anywhere, that the bottom doesn't drop out. So, since we're caught up now with the orange one, I'll go back to this one. And I used too much glue there. Oh, come on. Another thing I like about doing it this way is that typically you've got plenty of room to use your hand. You're not having to reach down like with a bone folder to push it in. You can glue these longer pieces to this piece, and then you can still work inside there without having to use like a bone folder or something like that. You could do this probably with hot glue. I don't know how well that holds. I don't have a clue. I don't have that glued straight, I know that. Alright, now I'll just put glue along the sides and then down here and stick it inside my cover. Now this is what we have, and you can decorate it any way you want. I'm going to put a belly band over here to hold envelopes because I'm going to put my cards over here. I've got to figure out what paper I'm going to use because I'll put a mat on here and then some other focal piece. Alright, so I went rooting around in the exorbitant amount of paper that I have. And I'm not really a fan of this pattern, but I think all of this kind of goes together. Those colors seem to work. So now I'm debating on, alright, so I'm going to do my first mat out of this kind of wild pattern here, because I'm going to use some of these stickers. They look like fun. And when I made this little guy here, all that you have left that is waste is this piece here, and it's not really waste. You can use it as another mat on the front, or you can keep it and use it on a card. So you don't really have just those few little pieces that you cut off the corners. That's it, as far as waste goes. So let's cut this down. So I'm going to cut this at 5 1/8 by 6 7/8. Let's start with the 6 7/8. Oh my. Five and an eighth, isn't that what I said? Good grief. Alright, so then I got out this textured yellow piece to go on top of it. And I'm going to cut it at 6 3/4 by 4 7/8. Well, I say I am, if I can get myself to stay still here. Instead of 6 3/4, I'll cut it at 6 1/2. That's better. Yeah. That way that back pattern is not too much in your face, but you can still see a little bit of it, you know. I thought the yellow was appropriate for spring, quite frankly. And it's bright and cheerful. Then you can do whatever you want with this. I will probably cut a small mat to put on the front of the pocket. And you could, plus I'm going to make my belly band out of that because I don't want to do the crazy paper. Let me go ahead and cut my belly band. Now let me go grab an envelope. Alright, so score this belly band at 1 1/2 and then flip it around and score it at 1.5 again. And this guy is cut 2 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. And that should give you this. This will go here. I'll probably put it about even with the bottom of this guy, or close. That brings a little more color in. But yeah, I'd say 8.5 by 2, scored at 1.5 on each end for your envelopes. Alright, so I'm back for a little bit until he decides he needs to pee some more. Silly dog. And I'm putting tape on these things. But while I was doing that, I was listening to the TV, which I still have on in the background because, well, I like background noises. And has anybody else seen the Lending Tree commercial with the little green puppet guy on it? Because I swear that little green puppet guy was on Sesame Street years and years and years ago. He looks just like a little guy that they had on there. Same color and all. Which, if that's the case, that's just all kinds of wrong, because they have him sitting there in his boxer shorts. I decided to go ahead and use sticky tape on, or two-sided tape, whatever you call this, tear tape, on the belly band and on the matting. I figured it would be strong enough, and cut this kind of with a slant on each side. This one needs more. To me, it seems to work a little bit better. Oops. And I want to add a little extra stick because I'm anal like that. Kind of a weirdo about that stuff. It's not quite even, but it'll be alright. By cutting that little bit of a slant, you don't see the pieces that you folded under. You don't see those stick out anywhere. Take away what you can use and leave the rest, and apply anything that you think would make it better. That's how I go about things as far as crafts go and other people's designs and stuff, because this is not an original design. I mean, my goodness, you can look on YouTube and see a gazillion of these things on there. I just took what I could use and adjusted it for what works better for me. My dog is snoring right here at my feet. He snores so loud. He didn't used to when he was younger, but now he does. He snores loudly. Let's see. Trying to use that up. Isn't it funny? You go to use something up like that, you know you're close. You're close to being done with it, and it seems like it just goes on and on and on, and you look at it like, good grief. I thought you were about empty. That's how it seems to me anyway. Maybe I'm just weird. I mean, it's not a complaint by any means. Yep, that's the end, isn't it? I think so. Yep, that's the end of that one. That's alright, I have more. Let's try this again. Yay! That's the back side. Why does this one look different than the last one? They both came out of the same package. The other one had like blue dots, kind of like the dot runner. But they both came out of the same package. I only have one open package. Well, had. I don't now. And it says tape runner. Go figure that. I don't like the glue dot runners. Let's just, I'll come back to this piece. I've seen people make a smaller little place, like a slot, to go on the front of these little, what's that thing called? Envelope, box, whatever, to go like right in here to put stamps in for like postage stamps. I've seen people do that. I've not ever done it, but maybe I should. Hell, postage is so high. And to send these types of cards that we put in these things, well, the ones that I send, I don't know about others, but the ones that I send take twice the postage because of the extra goodies that I put on them, you know, the bigger ribbon and buttons and, you know, those things. The post office doesn't take too kindly to those things, so there we go. I might even cut a small piece of this paper to put here in the front. I like this little house with hello. That's what I like. I want to put it down here. And then the welcome should fit at the top. Probably would have helped if I'd had this straight the whole time, huh? I figure my mom would like this. That's who I'm making this for anyway. It's my mom. Every time she comes to town, I send her home with a set of cards so that she doesn't have to go out and buy cards for people for their birthdays or for Christmas or, you know, whatever. And when I'm not seeing her before Christmas, I make sure to send her a whole bunch of Christmas cards that are not going to cost extra postage, because she's elderly. She'll be 75 this year, so she qualifies for elderly. So for hers, I do put postage stamps in there because I make all of her cards relatively flat where they won't charge extra postage for those. So this one will easily hold a set of 10 cards, maybe more. Might end up being a set of 15, but that's a cute little reasonably easy card set holder using minimal pieces, really. I cut up a 12 by 12 for this and a 12 by 12 for this, and then obviously a 12 by 12 for this, but we had minimal waste of this one and of the yellow one, really, since we used most of it. I don't know what I'll do back here. I'll figure it out. So yeah, and then some cute stickers from Dollar Tree, which is, by the way, where those came from. And I put them in upside down because the lamp is upside down. Oh well. Let me know what you guys think. I think this needs more sticky over here. Yeah, that one dot is not enough. So let's put some more on there. How about it? You guys let me know what you think about this little project. It was super easy. I mean, they don't get a whole heck of a lot easier. Other than just not doing them, you know. Which, that's not an option. I make so many cards these days that I gotta do something with them. I need to send a set to my Aunt Marie. She was married to my mom's brother, and she and I have always been close to one another. Let me know what you guys think about it. It was super easy. Whole lot of talking, but I always do that. Thanks for spending some time with me, guys. I certainly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day and a glorious tomorrow. Bye, guys.